Morning, friends and family. John Miller, your Lake Stevens Realtor, coming at you here Monday, August 31st, 2020. Last day of August. Can't believe it. School's starting here on Wednesday. Can't believe it. It's raining today, and I can't believe it. It's just everything's just crazy today. Brief market update. We are seeing. You've probably seen some news articles about people leaving the city centers in the urban areas. We are seeing an exodus. We're getting a lot more data every day. More and more information is coming in that's exactly what's happening. Similarly, we are seeing some changes to buyer criteria, primarily to focus on the ability to work from home. So issues like commute times aren't as critical, but home offices are, for example. So we are seeing a real shift in that area, and it's something we take into consideration when we're working with certain buyers making that move. So any questions about that, obviously, let me know. Today's question and answer comes out of Everett, Washington. And the question is, what is a seller carry or seller financing? What does that involve? And that's a good question. We do see that every once in a while in certain circumstances. But let me go over it briefly. And basically what happens is in a seller financing, it literally is what it is. The seller is financing the property, acting as the bank. And the buyer takes title, and the seller receives a deed of trust or the mortgage at closing, and the buyer is paying for part or all of the financing of the property, and the buyer is paying the seller just like he would the bank through the course of that loan. And typically that works in only a few situations. It works with unique properties, or raw land is usually where it's very common, where conventional financing is just not available, or somehow for some reason the buyer can't get conventional financing. There's something that's affecting the buyer's ability to finance. Many times those go hand in hand, but that being said, that usually requires material down. I've seen anything 15, 20, 25% down, and that's done because the seller wants to protect their interest. They do have the right to foreclose. The foreclosure process is expensive. Banks have whole departments that do it for them, and for them it's just a part of doing business. But as for an individual, a seller would go hire an attorney, and that's going to cost thousands of dollars to do that. Typically there is a balloon payment, and that's basically an accelerated payment. Usually I've seen it as low as a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years into the length of the loan, where the buyer says, okay, I'm going to refinance or pay off the loan at that time, even though it's amortized over 30 years usually. There are obviously a lot of risks involved in that. I've done a handful over the 16 years I've been selling real estate. There are times it's the only way to make things work. Most of the time I've done it, it works. There's been a few times it just hasn't. Again, I can probably count on probably less than 10 transactions over 16 years that I've put together seller financing, either representing the buyer or the seller. And so it's unusual, but it does happen, and certainly in different markets we see a lot more of it. At any rate, if you have any questions regarding how, as a buyer or a seller, how that would affect your purchase, or if you're interested or looking at owner financing, give me a call and we can discuss that further. Interest rates, look at that, 2.91% on a 30-year fixed. Crazy. And now is the time. Market is still moving very strong. We're expecting another 2 months of very strong real estate sales here in the Northwest before we head in the winter months. So now is the time. If you're looking to buy or sell, it's a great time right now. We're obviously going up against an election, and a lot of questions in the air right now about what's going to be happening here in 2021. Anyway, wherever you are, we love you. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you next week. Bye.